An investor known for The Big Short says it's all about politics right now. Steve Eisman is former senior portfolio manager at Neuberger Berman. He just launched the Eisman Playbook podcast, which has dropped. It's a good listen, Steve. I listened to your first episode.
Well, thank you.
What do you make of this market here? You're saying don't be a hero.
What I make of it is that I think part of the problem, and I've been watching your show, everybody else's show, and people are getting on the show, they're all almost in hysterics. And I think the issue is that everybody of our social class took Econ 101, and we were all taught the same thing. Trade good, tariffs bad, trade war terrible. And that was drummed in everybody's heads with such force that it's a paradigm that now you have a president of the United States who doesn't seem to accept that paradigm, and people find that extremely jarring. So what I try and do in situations like this is try and step in the shoes of the other person, see the world through their eyes, and try not just to understand what they think, but why they think it. And I think what's going on here is you have to go back to the 90s when Clinton was pushing NAFTA and China entering the WTO. And he basically made two arguments, that free trade would improve GDP growth and would create a lot of jobs. And he was right on the former, and he was dead wrong on the latter. And, if you travel this country, there are parts of this country that would have been devastated over the last 25 years because of free trade, because they didn't just lose their jobs, they lost their towns. So I think President Trump is taking the attitude, free trade is great, but GDP isn't just a number, it's people. And there are whole parts of this country that have suffered terribly. Mm-hmm. And we have the freest markets in the world, and he wants to reorder it. And I have a lot of sympathy with that. And I think one thing that isn't said enough is that the United States, if that's your goal, the United States is in the best possible position to negotiate towards that goal, because the percentage of U.S. GDP that is composed of exports is only 11%. It's the lowest percentage pretty much of any country on planet Earth. Europe, every country is in excess of 30, except for Germany, which is over 40. Mexico and Canada are over 35%. China, if you factor in all the stuff that they do through Vietnam and Cambodia, is probably 30%. So what's going to happen over the next several months are negotiations, and what's going to become so if people are rational, this is where I don't know what's going to happen. If countries are rational, Canada and Mexico would come to the United States and basically beg, we'll do what you want. Because of the 35% that Mexico and Canada have of their GDP from exports, 25 points of that 35% is just exports to the United States. Those two countries hold no cards. Now, Europe is not much better. And so I think if everybody's rational, they'll lower their barriers. Now, that doesn't mean everybody's rational. There's politics. People might be, some of the politicians might be afraid if we give in, we're going to lose our jobs. Mm-hmm. That's the wild card. If reasonable heads prevail, Trump will get pretty much what he wants.
Let's say the truth is somewhere in between.
Which truth?
In terms of countries caving on one end or politicians being afraid of losing their jobs so they don't cave. Let's say they agree to some and not others. Is it worth the pain? In your view, is it worth the pain that we're going through in the markets?
To whom?
To our country,
to
the markets.
Well, there's the people in the markets who are upset that they've lost money. And I'm not going to kid you. I'm one of those people. I'm long only. I've lost plenty. But then there are everybody else in the country who lost their jobs in their towns. They're cheering. So who voted for the president? They did. So, look, you can agree with President Trump. You can disagree with President Trump. One thing I actually find extremely admirable about him is one of the few politicians in my lifetime who actually does what he says he's going to do. He has told you that he was going to do this for years, and now he's gone and done it. And everybody's shocked that he fulfilled his promise. They didn't take him seriously. But he's doing what he said he was going to do.